All right. So, welcome back to the live for whoever is in the broadcasting. Let's pitch ideas. So, do we have a? It's funny, like no one comes back after the, after the break. No one actually, like, I don't think any of the auditing students will come back for this, but we can try. Let's see if anybody will be. I will make a note on Facebook so that maybe people do that. So, where do we start? Which group wants to go first? Okay, we can assign it. We can assign it. Okay, Artem is here. Remote to panelist. Okay. We can assign it ourselves. So the first group will be in the order of the start, the parametric collective urban locator. May I get a volunteer? Michael?
Okay. So we've split up our thing into 3 parts. So what's the problem we're trying to solve? So we're a developer and we'd like to find the best plot to build our hotel.
Amazing. May I ask, did you put anything on Miro? You can actually share your screen if you want.
Yeah, I've got a note, just a little notepad on there. I'll just read it.
There you go. It's all yours.
Not sure how to do it, sorry.
Just share your screen, a little green button down there. You should be able to have it.
Screen, that one, share.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so what's the problem? So I'm a developer and I'd like to find the best plot to build the building. So where are we going to get our data? So we were thinking of using Gizmo or the OpenStreetMaps data to feed in. So either use the images from there or and then what model will we be using? So we were talking about using the deep Q learning and basically having it like a pin and get it to move from different sites and check its distance from the inputted parameters. So that would be parks. I've got a list here, sorry. Parks, transport, shops, schools, etc. Not sure if anyone else wants to say anything.
That sounds great.
Okay.
What model will you use?
Well, deep Q.
Deep Q.
Yeah,
all right.
DQ,
So I missed that. Yeah. All right. So
sorry.
you end up you agreed on the deep Q in the end, right?
Yeah.
All right. Feedback. Narid, Theodore, Yosha, Delza.
I think it's a great way to go. I love the story of, I'm a rich and wealthy developer and I'd like to build a hotel. We all have that issue. So as I said when I was with you guys, 2 things you should consider. Number 1 was, how is the input data represented? So what information is going to inform the decision of how the pin moves? And another thing to think about is that the preferences for the distance between all your amenities is specifically tailored to the one developer. So your developer would be then assigning those weights once, and then you would train the algorithm, and that's that. Unless there's another developer that has the exact same preferences, replicability of the model is a bit up in the air. But yeah, all around, great problem.
Yeah, it sounds like a creative application of deep Q learning. So I'm excited to see the agent making decisions in the end.
Well done. I also think it's a very sound application. So go for it. Theodore, you have any comments? No? No more? Dilza?
Yes, I just ended the meeting right now with this group, and I think it's a nice idea. And the OSM data might make sense to get the land use. I just shared with them also the link where to get the script, how to extract the data.
Just show that, yeah.
Yep. So looking forward to see the results.
Well done, guys. Looking forward to seeing the results.
Thank you.
Next group, let's go for a team building microclimate. Any volunteer?
Okay, so I can start. So the problem would be finding the urban literal hotspots in terms of being, so we defined it as the area with the least open green space and being of a usage type residential. So finding those areas in a city map which are residential of quite a high density and without having any green space, to be those spots where you could start attacking like urban microclimate issues and start developing projects. In terms of data source, we would use GIS data to get the land use as well as the open green space information, now using Mapillary API. And as a model, we would use GAN, so pix to pix to train it. And the idea is then to like run it over a different city map and quickly get those hotspots which are the most critical in terms of urban microclimate. That's it.
Yeah, very nice. I was in your group, so I know a bit. And I really like that you added the mask RCNN part to also detect the greenage of the buildings as an addition to the satellite image analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's nice. Very cool.
Yeah, brilliant idea, guys.
It's an important issue,
Thanks.
like in general, to be able to say something about this. So it's a nice application. And yeah, the addition of like finer details, it helps, because just from top down kind of like OpenStreetMaps would be missing a lot of information on the street. So this addition of like finer details, it will help a lot. And maybe it will be interesting to even compare with and without. So how does it change by local information?
Okay, thanks.
More comments? Anyone else?
How are you planning to visualize the results?
As a sort of heat map.
Literally. That's an interesting, I think it would be an interesting project. I don't know about, yeah.
I want to ask about something about this group. Do you will present your work by GIS, because Heatmap, I think in GIS? Yeah?
I think we'll
Yeah,
we still have to
but
discuss, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Generally sounds good. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any more comments.
No.
Let's move on.
Move on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Team Keen Beans. This name.
You don't like the name?
Of course. Your last name is Keen.
There may be some bias, sure.
Who will speak from Team Keen Beans?
Me.
Javier, of course, yes. Go on, Javier. Do you want to share your screen, or like you don't?
No, I mean I have nothing to share. I mean, I was going through the papers that you shared with me. I mean,
Yeah.
Actually, I'm expecting to get. I mean, I can show you what I'm expecting, what we're expecting to get in the best scenario. So, okay, so at the very beginning, we have changed a little bit. We want to make program planning more transparent, accessible, and understandable for lay people, for non-experts. For that purpose, we aim to create a system able to generate semi-realistic street view imagery given any 3D viewport. So basically, we're going to use as the data 3D model of a city with the location of the street view images, and then train most likely based on pix-to-pix information matching street view imagery with the corresponding 3D viewport of that urban environment, and then create a system able to query from a 3D viewport prediction of a 3D of a street view imagery. Angelos was as well suggesting that it would be nice if we are able to add kind of like a style layer, because it's not the same that if we are running that in Rome or in Vienna or in Paris or in California. Actually now it reminds me of a paper that it was extracting actually features maps from architectural facades from all over the world. So, I mean, it's somewhere in my mental, so I will look for it. And so, yeah, that's what we are planning to do. This is as well because Narit was recommending us that it was much more doable than just transferring from a 2D plan to a full street view, semi-realistic image.
I loved your initial idea. It was ambitious, but yeah, this is definitely more doable from the technical standpoint. The style thing, the city style, is an interesting point. I'm actually really interested to see how it comes out of that.
Just to say one more thing, like because I shared with the guys the work that we saw in CMOUT from MIT, which was like the kind of like what do they call this interface? This tangible interface to Street View, which was using GANs. And so, I mean, already if you do that in a week, you're already like, that's already ambitious. I would say like it's ambition is all over. But yeah, the style thing would be very, very interesting. If you could. Let's see now how this kind of like simple massing would look like Vienna style or California style.
I was telling Narit, I mean, I'm expecting to get kind of like deep dream kind of image at the end.
Yeah. That's fine. Like, because if you're gonna think about it as well, like in a 3D urban model, right? We don't have things that are captured in Street View images. We don't have pedestrians put in. We don't have cars put in. I'd like to see some weird and wacky pedestrians get rendered out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hallucinations from the network.
Just one note to all teams, this is supposed to be fun, mainly. So it doesn't have to be perfect and polished. It can just be like, badly designed and fun. Yeah, just a comment there. Don't try to make it like very, that's what I was telling also to Sanjay and Abir and who else was there I think we're gonna talk about it next. Yeah, the spatial analysis. You're gonna be the last group. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. What else? What everybody else thinks? Theodore, I'd like to hear your thoughts here.
I think it's a good idea. It's a good idea, and it's good to have like a bit higher goals in the beginning. That's the whole idea of like starting a project, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see how it grows. I think it's good. It's interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I also think compared to the MIT model, this one would be much more useful because we don't have to build a Lego city for it. But
yeah.
let's not raise the competition.
I mean, you can reuse your Legos if you want to. I mean, I have plenty of them at home, so.
My niece has great Legos I can also provide. But just to wrap up and go to the next meeting, to the next group, thank you. Dielza, did you want to add something? Because I thought you...
I really like the idea because you can directly see the human perspective. You have just this very
dry
model, and then you can imagine how it can look like with the atmosphere. So it's cool.
Sounds great. One suggestion to this group, to Javier specifically, if you change your microphone to something that like creates little like less noise, you will be less like Theodore in our meetings because he always has this problem with his microphone, and I always complain that his microphone doesn't work.
Can confirm he does always complain.
I mean, the problem of this one is that it has not a double jack able to plug back to the microphone. It's so annoying. It's supple, but yeah, it's great supple design.
I just wanted to take a piece of Theodore's microphone because we have it's an internal joke. It's a very long discussion. I expect him to come back.
Skype.
I have Theodore's at the microphone, by the way.
Scale Squad. Who is here and who will present? Scale Squad.
That's us.
Yes.
I'll try to talk.
Yeah.
So what our idea is to extract as much possible of information from satellite image. The only problem that you usually run with is the building heights. So we were thinking of maybe take some satellite images and the input would be satellite images or either clean data from parametric model, and then the output will be the building heights. But how to make that bridge or that connection between the image and the numbers will be by using gradient colors. So the output will be a satellite image with building footprints as an outline, color coded based according to building heights. That's basically the idea. We'll use pix to pix probably.
From a technical standpoint, I wonder how effective this would be. Because
we'll have, because it depends on like the sun angle and the size of the shadow. So probably we'll be using satellite images that are taken at a certain time of the day or a certain location. And it's very limited scope, but it's only like basic idea, I guess.
I think it's nice. The other source you could consider, there was, I think about a couple of years ago, a year and a half, Microsoft released a very large open data set of buildings. You can find it on GitHub. It's called, I believe, Microsoft Buildings or something like that. So it's a few million buildings from the US. And what they did is they did all this photogrammetry, taking pictures, very detailed, right? And they were saying back then, I don't think they've released it yet, that they were training a model using this data to predict in the rest of the world, right? So maybe that can be an input for you, like those millions of buildings, they align with OpenStreetMap, for example. So maybe you can try and use those pairs, and it wouldn't be 100% accurate because again, you know, it's just a flat image trying to predict space with no sun in OpenStreetMap, but maybe that's something like an input.
But would it be
the idea is really helpful.
With the image segmentation from the street, like it just we found 4 different ways of doing it with the help of Yosha actually. But now I'm thinking, why not from the actual image of Google Maps, the street images?
Yeah, the problem is it's very ambiguous, right? Like it's just an image of, it has no other detail indicating a height, while the shade, as I was saying, as you guys were saying, you were all saying in the beginning, is something less ambiguous. You can kind of learn some relationship. So I believe that through the map based, you can learn to predict heights, but it might, you know, it won't be like completely accurate, but it might be like enough to make like 3D models quickly for those that don't have. That's an interesting application.
Yeah, it's like just a step above random. Yeah.
And satellite would be a nice addition because, as you were saying, you know, the shading maybe provides more information, like for height. It's nice, very interesting application.
I mean, I was in the group for a while. I really liked their idea around the shadows. They also had some more ideas when the satellite image doesn't work so well. They can also try to predict just based on building footprints, for instance, which would be very interesting to like interpolate missing data in OSM. So just around this building heights, I think they had quite some ideas to experiment with that. And I'm excited to see some results.
Same.
Same here. Looking forward to it. So like, let's move on because I think we should wrap up. Let's move on to the last group very quickly. Thank you, Nora. Spatial planning. I'm trying to find the team spatial analysis, please.
Hey, I'm gonna try and present it. Please add in if I miss anything. So the problem statement that we have is we have a urban area without a transportation network. And what we'd like to do is learn from existing well-planned cities on where their bus stop locations are by looking at the correlation between bus stop location and building density, and try to feed in just the building density and see if we can predict bus stop locations. Or we're thinking of using pix to pix for this.
I mean, from the data side of things, it's something that can be easily done. You know, you take data that exists out there of like your plan view of an urban area with a bus stop. That there's your output. That's your output with the bus stop location, and your input is just the same thing, but that bus stop removed. You know, So it's viable.
Yeah, that sounds viable.
I also think it's viable. Yeah.
I'd be real.
it?
Please.
Sorry, are you gonna do it with built and unbuilt environment? I mean, open space and.
Yeah, so we want to take like the OSM buildings and create a height map. So we can take into account vertical and horizontal density. And maybe for a certain mix of density, there are no bus stops. And then for a certain mix that requires a bus stop there, and then look at how it creates a network, perhaps.
Maybe this could be done. I don't know if the data exists or for everywhere at least. At some areas exist the occupancy data and how many people live there and or move there and need, because maybe it's not correlated to the dense, so the massing of the buildings. Maybe, yeah, it could be both ways.
Yeah, it could be.
Something
It's definitely
to be confirmed, right? Maybe it is related to city shape instead of human density, but maybe city shape somehow in these cases correlate to human density. So it's something to be investigated. It's a result that would answer this kind of question.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting application.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting if you try out like some different variations, like taking the density in, leaving that out, and see how the results change. Maybe you could also think of you define one city center point, and then in each image that you generate, you have this distance somehow encoded as a slight color shade or something, like
right.
this somehow.
Yeah, I think that's
experiments could be. I could imagine.
Yeah, I think doing experiments. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we've thought of reversing it, like given a city with limited transport capacity. So these are your only bus stops. So reversing it would go, we would see this is the density cap or a margin you're allowed to have given a certain transport capacity.
Yeah. One step. I think that makes sense. It's cool. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, this is as the same what we already means that like a neighborhood has a 15 bus station, and this has a different behavior of people according to the different behavior, not a different behavior, different density of land use. So we will measure after we already consider the all different, different land use, different traffic in this bus station. So we will know what is the fluctuation of this area or fluctuation of noise in this area.
Yeah, that's a difficult question. For me, I think the interesting thing about this is trying to visualize what you learn in the city. So like what transitions happen between what regions of the city. So that would be an interesting idea, like the visualization aspect of it, I think would be very helpful in understanding a city. Yeah.
You could also consider to maybe include streets, like street width or something in the model, but I think these are all like some experiments you can run and see how,
but I think these things, for instance, it will be according to the numbers. We already assuming this because such as the citizen who are living there, we can't assume this even just according to the land use, which is already in this place. We have offices, we have a residential area. So according to this, we have to assume how many people there.
Yeah, but I think that's perfectly fine. It's like a proxy data. It doesn't have to be perfect. You will have some errors, but as you have a bigger data set, some outliers don't really matter. They will be ignored in the end. They go, they won't.
Yeah.
destroy the model.
Yeah, and maybe we can consider this as like a, this is just a way to just see if a methodology, if you can apply methodology, then, when you have more time in your hands, you will be able to test how well this methodology works. But the goal here is to just apply the methodology. Should we wrap it up? Because it's already 5. We normally typically go 1 hour over time. And I think that you're used to that by now. Apologies, but like we did try to squeeze as much as possible in the first 2 days. The next 3 days are going to be the days that you work. The next 3 days are this is now the hackathon. Like now this is the core of the work, right? So tomorrow you're on your own, you're working in your teams. Please use your Slack channels for questions. We are here listening in, but please try to strengthen your ideas and find your data, find your methods, try things, see if they're working, self-organize, use this Zoom kind of like link if you want to meet. You can always create like breakout rooms on your own and, separate. You can also create your own Zoom links and what have you. And then on Wednesday, we will have a full day where we will be doing work for individually in groups, and we will have a small kind of like session again all together to present a little bit the summary at the end. But this is a day where you're gonna use most of the time to work together. Narid will do the style transfer on Wednesday morning, I believe. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quickly if possible, so we can like get it done.
Loud and clear.
And then we will be here as well tomorrow, and Wednesday we will have like individual sessions with each one of you. Then Thursday you'll all have another day to work, and then Friday we'll have a presentation session. We'll try to invite some people to make it like look like a crit. I know you're all professionals and you don't need any more crits in your lives, but it would be fun. So yeah, questions, any issues, anything you want to discuss about
What
now?
is the template? What is the template of our presentation?
There are gonna be, we will send out some more information, but it's going to be the exact same thing that we were talking about today: problem, data, methods. A simple way to pitch your your project, and some cool little video or little GIF or something would be great. But we should not think about that now. Now the time is to think about the projects. Apologies about the noise. It seems like kids are getting excited in my building. It's the time of the day. So any questions? And there's a guy who also, like at this time, always plays the ukulele, and it's like kind of like sounds like summer, but like I only see buildings around, so it's not really fun. Anyway, shall we say goodbye? And we'll meet tomorrow. Sorry, on Wednesday.
Last question, sorry. I want anyone from the instructors help me to download the Rhino and the Grasshopper plugin, because I don't have, I don't know how to.
You don't have Rhino and Grasshopper?
Yeah, so I don't know how to, yeah.
Okay, let's communicate through Slack. We'll help you out there,
yes.
yeah?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, everyone.
Oh, bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
Good day. Good night.
Bye, everybody. Bye to the live channel. Bye to the world.